Number 1. The roof of the world. No one could conquer. In a world where most small countries have been swallowed by empires, Nepal stands tall literally. This tiny nation of just 147,000 square kilometers holds 8 of the planet's 10 highest peaks, including Mount Everest itself. Nearly 75% of the land is an unbroken wall of Himalayas, glaciers, and gorges so fierce they've acted as a natural fortress for centuries. While countries with far bigger armies fell to colonial powers, Nepal, wedged between India and China, never lost its sovereignty. Unlike most nations, its borders were drawn not by human politics, but by the raw, unyielding spine of the earth. And that's just the beginning, because even its national flag refuses to follow the rules. Number 2. The illegal geometry of Nepal's flag. In a world where nearly every national flag is a neat rectangle or square, Nepal laughs at the rulebook. Its flag is the only one made of 2 stacked triangles. A design so unique, it looks like the country tore a piece straight out of the mountains it represents. The upper triangle symbolizes the Himalayas. The lower honors the nation's 2 dominant religions, Hinduism and Buddhism, living side by side. The deep crimson red stands for bravery and mirrors the rhododendron, Nepal's national flower. While the blue border speaks of peace and harmony, this isn't some quirky accident. It's a perfectly calculated piece of geometry with centuries of meaning stitched into every angle. And if you think a strange flag is unusual, wait until you hear how Nepal tells time. Number 3. The time zone that makes no sense. While most countries stick to nice, tidy, hourly time zones, Nepal decided, why be normal officially? It runs on GMT plus 5:45, yes, 45 minutes. That's 15 minutes ahead of neighboring India, and completely out of sync with almost every other clock on Earth. But it gets even weirder in remote mountain villages. People ignore official time altogether and set their day by the sun's position. Sunrise in one village might mean 8:30 a.m., but just 20 kilometers away. It could mean 10 hours a.m. Some border areas even use Chinese or Indian time instead, depending on convenience for visitors. It's pure chaos. Arrive on time, by your watch, and you might still be an hour early or late. And that's not the only tradition here that bends reality. Just wait until you meet the women of Nepal. Number 4. Women stronger than the mountains. Forget the Hollywood image of glamorous divas. Nepalese women carry a beauty forged in the high Himalayas. Sun-kissed brown skin, sharp cheekbones, and eyes that seem to hold both kindness and unshakable resolve. You'll see them in traditional dresses, hauling baskets of firewood up steep trails, still smiling as if the climb were nothing. But strength here isn't just physical. Over 29% of seats in Nepal's parliament are held by women, one of the highest rates in South Asia. Yet many still navigate the push and pull between old traditions and modern independence. In love, they're known to be slow to trust, but once committed, their loyalty is rock solid. And yes, more and more are marrying foreigners if he can respect both her freedom and her roots. But relationships aren't the only thing Nepal redefines. Here, even marriage itself can have multiple players. Number 5. One husband, 2 wives, or the other way around. In Nepal's remote highlands, "Till death do us part" can come with a twist. Sometimes it's "till death do us part," all 3 of us. Here, both polygamy, 1 man, multiple wives, and polyandry, 1 woman. Multiple husbands are still practiced, not for scandal, but for survival. In brutal mountain conditions, having more adults in one household means more labor, shared resources, and fewer risks. A widow might marry her late husband's brother to keep the family's land from being split or lost. Weddings aren't about diamond rings either. Dowries might be sacks of grain, livestock, or even an agreement to plow a family's fields for 3 seasons. Love is nice, but in these villages, practicality is king. And speaking of kings, Nepal has one tradition where a little girl is treated as nothing less than a living goddess. Number 6. The goddess who can't touch the ground. In the heart of Kathmandu lives the Kumari, a real, flesh and blood living goddess chosen before the age of 10. Selected through an ancient series of spiritual tests. She's believed to be the earthly incarnation of the goddess Taleju, revered in both Hinduism and Buddhism. Once crowned, her life becomes one of seclusion, no school, no playmates, and one sacred rule: her bare feet must never touch the ground. The belief is that the earth is impure. A single step would strip her of divinity. Even a scratch or a lost tooth ends her reign instantly. During the year, she appears in public only a few times, carried on a golden throne while thousands bow in reverence. But here's the twist: many men are hesitant to marry former Kumaris. As if once divine, they could never return to being just human. And if you think that's surreal, wait until you meet Nepal's youngest Buddhas. Number 7. The Toddler monks and living Buddhas. In Nepal, some children don't go to kindergarten, they go straight to the monastery by the age of 3 to 5. Boys may don saffron robes, swap toys for prayer beads, and live under the watchful guidance of senior monks. For some, it's more than a path to discipline, it's destiny. Certain children are recognized as tulkus, the reincarnations of revered lamas who passed away, chosen through signs and rituals. These tiny living Buddhas are treated with deep reverence, even if they're still learning their ABCs. Villagers bow as they pass, hands pressed in prayer, offering respect as if greeting an enlightened master. The sight can be both awe-inspiring and oddly adorable. Imagine a holy child sucking on a lollipop while solemnly blessing the faithful. And speaking of extraordinary humans, Nepal's high mountains have forged another kind of legend: the superhuman Sherpas. Number 8. The Superhumans of the Himalayas. While most people gasp for air on Everest, even with oxygen tanks, the Sherpas climb it like a morning stroll, living at altitudes above 3,000 meters in the Solukhumbu region. Their bodies have evolved to thrive in thin air, slower heart rates, more efficient lungs, and incredible stamina. They routinely carry over 100 kilograms of gear for climbers, navigating icy cliffs and blizzards that would halt the average mountaineer in minutes. Without Sherpas, many Everest expeditions would fail before they began. They're more than guides. They are the backbone of every summit attempt, the unsung heroes who carry the dreams and survival of others on their shoulders. And if getting to Everest sounds hard, just wait until you try landing at the airport closest to it. Number 9. The world's most dangerous airport. Perched at 2,850 meters above sea level, Lukla Airport, officially the Tenzing Hillary Airport, is less a runway and more a dare. At just 527 meters long, barely 1/10 the length of a typical international runway, it slopes upward at a 12% gradient, ending abruptly at a cliff. There's no autopilot, no radar. Every takeoff and landing depends entirely on the pilot's skill and nerves of steel. Approach too high, and you overshoot into the mountains. Too low, and you don't clear the ridge. Add sudden Himalayan fog or gusting winds, and even the most seasoned aviators break a sweat. Locals call it the runway of steel-nerved pilots, while tourists often whisper a quick prayer before boarding. And if that landing doesn't shake you, the capital city waiting at the end of the journey will, because it's basically a living museum. Number 10. The city where people live inside history. Kathmandu isn't just Nepal's capital, it's a time machine with people still living inside it. The Kathmandu Valley holds 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites packed into less than 30 kilometers, alongside over 130 ancient temples, stupas, and palaces. But here's the twist. These aren't sealed-off tourist attractions. Families cook dinner in 17th century carved wooden houses. Merchants sell tea beneath 1,000-year-old pagodas. And weddings take place under temple roofs older than some civilizations. Even the sacred and the mundane overlap. Tiny shrines on rooftops serve as morning altars and afternoon laundry spots. It's history you can touch, smell, and live in. And speaking of sacred, in Nepal, one animal is so holy that harming it can put you in prison for over a decade. Number 11. The crime of killing a cow. In Nepal, cows aren't just animals, they're sacred beings, believed to embody the goddess Lakshmi, bringer of wealth and prosperity. Harming one isn't just frowned upon. It's a criminal offense that can land you up to 12 years in prison, longer than some sentences for violent crimes. Each year during the Gayatra festival, cows are pampered like royalty, their faces painted in bright powders, necks draped with flower garlands, and bellies filled with fruit and sweets. While beef is completely off the table, buffalo meat is a common substitute, keeping both tradition and appetite satisfied. It's a unique balance of faith and practicality. And if you think that's unusual, just wait until you see how Nepal treats death, sometimes with a picnic. Number 12. Picnicking beside cremation grounds. In many countries, death is hidden away solemn, private, and far from public view. In Nepal, it's part of daily life. Along the Bagmati River in Kathmandu, open-air cremations take place in full sight of anyone passing by. For Hindus, the river is sacred, a twin to India's Ganges, and to be cremated here is believed to grant instant liberation from the cycle of rebirth. Elderly Nepalese often spend their final years nearby, preparing for the ultimate return to nature. But here's what shocks most visitors just steps from the burning pyres. Locals stroll, chat, snack on street food, even take photos. For them, death isn't a taboo, it's an inevitable part of life's flow. And from riverside ashes, we now move to ancient mysteries carved high into Himalayan cliffs. Number 13. The Hanging Mystery City. In the remote Mustang region near the Tibetan border, the cliffs are riddled with over 10,000 man-made caves, many perched more than 50 meters above the ground. From afar, the rock face looks like a giant honeycomb suspended in the sky. Archaeologists have found mummies, human bones, Buddhist murals, pottery, and fire pits inside, suggesting these were once inhabited. Yet there are no historical records. No one knows who built them, when, or why. Theories range from monastic retreats to high-altitude burial sites, or secret hideouts during times of war. But until someone solves the mystery, the sky caves remain one of Asia's great archaeological enigmas, silent, haunting, and unreachable without risking your life. And speaking of risky, Nepal has a daily transport system that looks like it belongs in an action movie. Number 14. Death-Defying Cable Cars. In Nepal's most isolated mountain regions, there are no roads, just gaping valleys, hundreds of meters deep. The solution: homemade cableways that look like something straight out of a survival film. Steel cables stretch across the void, carrying rickety metal baskets or wooden crates big enough for people, livestock, sacks of rice, and yes, even coffins. Locals call them sky buses. But there's no ticket, just courage. One loose bolt or a misaligned pulley could send everything plummeting into the abyss. In some villages, there's an even bolder method. People grip a pulley with their bare hands and zip line across. No harness, no net, just trust and experience. For these communities, it's not a thrill ride, it's the only way to reach the outside world. And in this land of rule breakers, even naming a child can be its own adventure. Number 15. Names that tell your birth story. In some remote corners of Nepal, names aren't chosen from baby books. They're snapshots of the moment you were born. A child delivered during a rainstorm might be called Bara Rain. Born during a landslide, Pahiro. Some names sound like diary entries, such as didn't reach the clinic in time, and yes, that's a real one. Many people don't have surnames or official birth certificates. They might live their whole lives known only by a nickname like Fire, Lamp, or Basket. Even parents' moods can decide a name: Hope, if they're joyful; Accident, if they're surprised. Beauty isn't the point, authenticity is. And after 15 mind-bending facts like these, it's clear Nepal doesn't just break the rules, it rewrites them. Nepal isn't just a country, it's a living paradox. A land where ancient gods walk among school children, where death is met with acceptance, and where survival breeds traditions the rest of the world can barely imagine. Every mountain, festival, and custom flips the script on what's normal, proving that different doesn't mean wrong, it means unforgettable. This is a place that doesn't just challenge your sense of geography, but your sense of reality itself. Once you've seen Nepal through these 15 unbelievable moments, you'll never look at the world the same way again. Which of these 15 Nepal facts shocked you the most? Was it the death-defying cable cars, the living goddess, or the idea of picnicking beside cremations? Drop your answer in the comments and tell us which country you want us to explore next. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends who think they've seen it all. Trust me, they haven't.